Shalom, giving all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rachakodash, double honors unto the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, rule well, and Shalom unto the 144,000 elect men of the nation of Israel, and the rest of the elect that are destined to be saved. I'm the brother Kalab from the GMS UK London Forecasters Camp, coming back at you with another lesson to help edify those of which I spoke of. So while I was on YouTube, I think it was yesterday, I saw this video pop up on my suggested videos feed. So I clicked on it, and basically what you've got is you've got this Jake here who is sitting in his car, reflecting on the fact that life is very lonely, in the sense that a lot of people who claim to be friends are not friends at all, and they're simply friends for their own occasion. Now, I'd assume that this Jake is, I don't know, maybe he's early to mid-30s, right? I don't know for sure, but I'm just guessing, right? And he's basically saying that what he's come to realize is that a lot of the people who he thought were friends, really they weren't friends at all. You know, and he's going to go into it. I'm going to play this clip and let you hear what he says, because essentially this is a reflection of the reality that we're dealing with, because as this Jake's not in the truth, he's just Jake in the world. But even he is perceiving the fact that, you know what, man, a lot of these people out here in this life, they're cold, they're self-serving, and they're wicked. Now, there's a precept I can get on this before I start, because when I was listening to this, obviously, I was inclined to agree with this because I've come to this conclusion myself a long time ago. And the scripture says something along these lines. Let me just get this. This is Matthew 24. Bear with me. Just pulling it up in my Bible here. Bear with me when I find this. One of the signs of the end, right, that Yahushua gave us is that, I'm just going to find this quote here. I don't know roughly paraphrase it. Bear with me while I skim read this. Bear with me a second. Yeah, this is Matthew 24, verse 12. Matthew 24, verse 12 says, "And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold." Read that again. "And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold." And that's what the times that we're living in. We're living in the times of Matthew 24 being fulfilled. So it's no surprise that the love of many has waxed cold. So let me play this clip and I'll get more precepts and listen to what this guy's got to say.
So I had a conversation with my friend the other day. I was just talking about how things are at work and how it's really got me down and how there's a dark cloud over me and I'm really suffering my mental health and it's affecting me and my family and all that. And he basically got back to me and he said, "Yeah, man, like, oh, you'll get over it. You'll be fine, innit? It happens. You know you can't leave, right? Because if you leave, oh, man, yeah, your family, they're going to struggle, like, so you're stuck there, bro. Like, just find something else in it. You'll be cool, innit?" I'm like, yeah, I know I can't just leave. I know I can't just do that. But I just really want, like, just to release, innit? Like, you've released on me. I just want to, you know, have a real conversation. Just kind of like, I'll get over it. You'll be fine. And it really made me think, like, man, I ain't got real friends, man. Like, if I look at my friendship group, I've probably got about one real friend, maybe two. Other than that, like, it's like a friendship recession right now. And I know I'm not the only one, because I've seen people talk about it. In real life, in videos, I've seen people talk about this thing. When you have this awakening, and you just see you see the BS, and you know people aren't real. And you meet people up and you talk to them and they spend the whole time talking about themselves. When you talk about you can see their eyes glazing over. You can see it. It's like you can read the energies of people. And people just ain't real anymore, man. Remember the days back in the day, you know, your friend would knock for you, he'd come to yours, like, he was literally like family. I remember my mum would be cooking for us. You come home, watch TV, you do it the next day, you kick ball. That was like your true friend. You'd fight, you'd argue, you'd make, Man, where is that? That's gone, man. You can't have a real conversation with people because you think, are they looking at me in a certain way? And, yeah, you can't even get emotional. You can't really, if I think you're not a real man. And you see people, man, like taking pics and stuff of all these guys, oh, yeah, man, we were 30 men deep. Like, we went to the stag do. Oh, there's about 25 of us. Man, some of them ain't your real friends. Because once you stop doing certain things like drinking, talking about women, doing whatless stuff, you realize you ain't got much in common with these people. And they start, when they start having families and stuff, people start doing their own thing. The pictures of the friendship groups and all that, that's good for the gram, man. That's good for the socials. That's good to have the look like you're popular. You see on Instagram and the stories of the guys, there in the bar and all that kind of stuff. Popping bottles, loads of guys there. If you're really being honest with you, how many of them are your friends? If crap hit the fan, how many of them are going to be there for you? Or they're just there when it's all good? If you're suffering from something, if you're going through a crisis, how many of those people in those pictures, toasted and all that, are going to be there for you when you need them the most? When you're down, when you're on the edge, when you don't know why you're doing things anymore, when you don't want to be on the earth anymore, when you're feeling real deep, how many of them are going to be there for you? But how many of them are there for you where, it looks good? When you got the occasion, where you got the stuff where they can put on their stories to show that they're popular. That's why they're there. I think when you come to a realization and awakening, you notice a lot of people are NPCs, non-playable characters. They're not real. And you can see it when you look in their eyes. You can just read the BS. It's like you have the, they live. Like you have the glasses. And you can kind of see, through all the BS and all the fakery and see what's really there. See the demonic nature of them or the fakeness of them. The automatons. Mindless creatures. When you have this awakening, it ain't easy having this. Being awoken to certain things. And I don't mean woke, like how they've taken it and subjugated it. I mean being really awake. Awoken to the BS of the world. Where it's politics, where it's just society in general. And you realize a lot of the people that you call friends aren't really your friends. They're more associates. I have many associates. I have very few friends. Friend circle. I have a line. I have a dash. And you know what? It's a shame. But I'd rather have people I know are real than people that are just there for the highlight reel. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, people, let me know if you agree with this. Let me know if you're suffering from the friendship recession that is currently going on, man, where people aren't real anymore. Let me know, or if you're popular, if you've got loads of friends you can rely on. Let me know about that too. I want to hear your stories, man. I want to hear what you think about this topic.
Right, so yeah, there you heard it. There you heard it. He's basically outlining what's real, man. A lot of these people out here who claim to be friends, they're only friends for their own occasion. And they will not tarry with you in the day of your adversity. That's from the book of Sirach, which we're going to get in a minute. Now, I want to go back to Matthew 24, right? Because these are the signs that Yahushua gave of the end. Matthew 24, verse 1. And Yahushua went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came to him for him to show him the building of the temple. So we read that again. I misread it. Hang on. Yeah, I'm going to read it from the Bible because I've got some precepts on that there. Matthew 24, verse 1 again. And Yahushua went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came to him for to show him the building of the temple. And Yahushua said unto them, See ye not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and the end of the world? And Yahushua said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name and saying, I am Hamashiach, and shall deceive many. And ye shall hear of wars and rumours of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences, and earthquakes in divers places. These are all the beginnings of sorrows. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and you shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. And then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. And many false prophets shall rise, and shall deceive many. And here's the point that I want to make. Verse 12, Matthew 24, verse 12. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. So this is a sign of the end and of the coming of Yahushua, that, these people out here are so cold and so self-centered and so wicked that iniquity is abounding and the love of many is waxing cold. And here you can see a Jake in the world who's not in the truth. He's feeling the signs of that prophecy that Yahushua spoke. And a lot of people are feeling this. But obviously he's just someone who's put a camera on and expressed how he feels and put it on YouTube. But there's a lot of people that feel this way. And that's the exact way that I felt when I was coming out of the world and coming into this truth. I started to realize that, you know what, man? Forgive me. Sorry. I started to realize, you know what, man? A lot of these people are full of shit, man. And basically what it boils down to is this. I'm going to say this, right? It's a hard thing to realize and a hard bitter pill to swallow, but this is the reality. The reality is they simply don't give a shit about you, or they simply don't care enough about you. You're not a priority to them. You're not worth their time. You're not worth their attention. So therefore, they don't put any effort into maintaining the friendship, because to them it's more effort than it's worth. They simply can't be bothered. They'd rather spend their energy on something, or their energy or their time on things that they would enjoy more. And you're simply not something that they would enjoy enough to spend time on you. Now, I'm saying it in those terms, but that's basically what it boils down to. You're not worth their time. You're not worth their effort. You're insignificant. You're simply insignificant, So therefore, you have to deal with everything by yourself. You have to cope with everything by yourself, because nobody else can be bothered to help you. And, that's a hard realization to come to, but that simply is the truth. And part of this truth of being an Israelite, serving Yahweh Shai, unfortunately, part of this truth is learning to cope with loneliness. Because I'll say, even though you may be within the truth, you may be among brothers in a camp, there's still going to be times where you're going to find yourself alone. Even though you may be among brothers, or, in a camp, whatever, there's still going to be a vast majority of the time where you're spending your time by yourself and alone. So you have to learn how to cope with that, because that even befell Yahushua himself. Yahushua had his disciples, but if you remember, when he was in the Garden of Gethsemane, Yahushua had to deal with loneliness, because he prayed and asked the disciples to stay awake and watch with him while he prayed. But they kept falling asleep, because the Most High put a spirit of slumber upon them, to where they couldn't keep their eyelids open. The eyelids were heavy, they kept falling asleep. So Yahushua had to go through that difficult part of his walk alone, because that's what was ordained for him. He had to go through that difficult straight path alone at that point in time, because that's what the Most High wanted. Well, guess what? The servant isn't greater than his master. So there's going to be times in life where, even though, as I say, you may be in a camp, you may be among brothers, you're still going to have certain issues and certain things that you're going to have to deal with or go through alone, because that's uh, part of the test. You know, there's not always going to be someone to help you up or to support you. You know, a lot of what we go through, we're going to have to go through. A lot of the most difficult things that we're going to have to go through, we're going to have to go through alone. You know. So what did I want to get? I've got some precepts here. What the heck? This is some scriptures from the book of Sirach. Sirach 7 and verse 18. Change not a friend for any good, by no means, neither a faithful brother for gold of Ophir. Sirach 9 and verse 10. Forsake not an old friend, for the new is not comparable to him, and a new friend is like new wine. When it is old, thou shalt drink it with pleasure. Sirach 12 and verse 8. A friend cannot be known in prosperity, and an enemy cannot be hidden in adversity. Yes, well, a lot of these fake friends, they're beginning to show their asses. Because as it says here, a friend cannot be known in prosperity, and an enemy cannot be hidden in adversity. So when you come into adverse situations, oftentimes that's when you realize who people really are, whether they're really down for you or not, you know, because they start to show themselves. You know, they show that they're simply callous, uncaring, self-serving creatures. This is Sirach 12 verse 9. In the prosperity of a man's enemies, sorry, forgive me. In the prosperity of a man, enemies will be grieved, but in adversity, even a friend will depart. Sirach 13:21. A rich man beginning to fall is held up by his friends, but a poor man being down is thrust away by his friends. There's a few more precepts I want to get. I've got them in my scriptures here. This is Psalms 41. Psalms 41 verse 9. Yea, mine own familiar friend in whom I trusted, which did eat of my bread, have lifted up his heel against me. Yeah, so that's King David speaking. You know, you're gonna have friends that are gonna depart from you, unfortunately, and it seems that the more you withdraw from this world, and the more you immerse yourself in the truth, the more the people of the world are gonna find you detestable, and they're not gonna want to be around you, and they're gonna depart and they're gonna forsake you. And I'll say even family. This even applies to family members too, not just friends, but you know, you're gonna find that a lot of people turning their back on you, friends, family. You know, a lot of people are gonna depart from you, but that's okay because the more people depart from you, the more, Lord willing, you will draw closer to the Lord. You know, and that's what we really want at the end of the day, to be counted worthy of the Most High to receive salvation and deliverance from this wicked world, which is coming to an end. Because a lot of these people who are fake friends, and you know, they turn their back on the men of the elect. Well, they're gonna realize that they made a great mistake at the time of Yahushua's return. I'll just read this one before I close out. This is Wisdom of Solomon 5 and verse 1. This book of Wisdom of Solomon 5 and verse 1. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him, and made no account of his labours. When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear. They shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all that they looked for. And they, repenting and groaning for anguish of spirit, shall say within themselves, This was he whom we sometimes had in derision and a proverb of reproach. We fools accounted his life madness, and his end to be without honour. How is he numbered among the children of the Most High, and his lot is among the saints? Therefore have we erred from the way of truth, and the light of righteousness hath not shined unto us, and the sun of righteousness rose not upon us. We wearied ourselves in the way of wickedness and destruction, yea, we have gone through deserts where there lay no way, but as for the way of the Lord, we have not known it. What have pride profited us, or what good have riches with our vaunting brought us? All those things are passed away like a shadow, and as a poster hasted by. Yeah, so and as a ship that passeth over the waves of water, when it is gone by, the trace thereof cannot be found, neither the pathway of the keel in the waves. Or as when a bird hath flown through the air, there is no token of her way to be found, but the light air being beaten with the stroke of her wings parted with violent noise, and the motion of them is passed through, and therein afterwards there is no sign where she went is to be found. Or as like when an arrow is shot at a mark, it parteth the air, which immediately cometh together again, so that a man cannot know where it went through. Even so we in like manner, as soon as we were born, began to draw to our end, and had no sign of virtue to show, but were consumed in our own wickedness. Yeah, for that hope of the ungodly is like dust that is blown away with the wind, like a thin froth that is driven away but with the storm, like as the smoke which is dispersed here and there with a tempest, and passeth away as a remembrance of a guest that tarrieth but a day. But the righteous live for evermore. Their reward also is with the Lord, and the care of them is with the Most High. Therefore they shall receive a glorious kingdom and a beautiful crown from the Lord's hand. For with his right hand shall he cover them, and with his arm shall he protect them. He shall take to him his jealousy for complete armor, and make the creature his weapon for the revenge of his enemies. Yeah, so that's basically what it is. A lot of these people these fake friends who may have turned their back against men of the Lord in the truth, they're going to come to this realization when Yahushua comes that they have erred from the way of wisdom, and that the people that they looked down upon and thought weren't worthy of their time, effort, or attention, they're going to come to be found out. Hang on a minute, these guys were of the elect. They were the Lord's chosen. You know, and they're going to be troubled with great fear and great amazement when they see these things come to pass, and they see the deliverance of the elect, while they themselves are going to reap the judgment and the destruction. So yeah, that's the lesson. With that, I want to give all praises and all glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Ruchakodash, double honors unto the elders and apostles of great millstone of all well and shalom unto the 144,000 elect men of the nation of Israel and the rest of the elect that are destined to be saved. And I'll catch you on the next lesson, Lord willing. Shalom for now.